curious to see how he uses it at the start of this game. You can send it mid, burn off some mana from the mid lane, right? Shadow Fiend kind of lives or dies with his raises, so you take that away at the start. Could help RCY have a better time. You might want to use it bottom to slow down this Dawnbreaker. We saw how good of a game Toronto Tokyo had. But I think that's where the Faceless Void helps, because you just time walk away, right? It shouldn't be easy to die. So I kind of think you can almost give that up. You know, don't use the Satyr in your own lane, mess with either mid, or mess with this Medusa, who also literally lives or dies based on her mana. So you go burn some of her mana off at the start. Maybe now Undying can do the rest with the Snapfire.
30 seconds to battle.
We'll see what they can get done. Another smoke 5v5 smoke, and we'll see if they end up clashing with each other. Not looking too likely at the start, but Fade, Speed, RCY are heading towards this top bounty rune. They've kind of backed off on the side of Aurora as they'll control their bounty runes on the back end. Panto and Mira eyeing it, but they do not want to go, and they'll end up being 2 for 2. And you know, we're new to casting together, so I gotta get you into the mix of me saying this all the time. Okay. But Mira, he's got Trail of the Burning Doom. It's a glitched cosmetic. I have to point it out. There is everything in my brain that makes it so I have to point this out. I don't know why. It's something that I have to say, but I love glitch cosmetics, and I can't stop saying it, and I've tried so hard. I've had interventions about saying this stuff, but it looks so cool.
I mean, I think that's exactly what Mira wants. Why else would he get the cosmetic? He wants you to talk about it. He loves it too. It does look like Speed is up here, but so is Mira. They're trying to do some sneaky tri-lane stuff here. See if they can get a quick kill onto this Undying Chen. So far,
Panto, he went bottom. We'll try to get this Satyr. Extra 22 gold there for Nightfall. Panto was hanging out a little bit, but also tag team, I do think this could end up being a problem in these earlier fights. If all of a sudden, like at that 7-minute shrine, we could see just potential danger come through.
Looking at bottom lane swap, kind of realizing the Snapfire Undying don't have aggressive potential onto Medusa. They're going to try to bring the Satyr up here to burn her mana. But Mira's doing a good job so far. Both supports actually swapping around on each team. Pretty funny. But he's got his camp open, blocked the other successfully, which is always what you want to do versus a Chen. You don't want to give him free creeps to work with when he hits level 2. And I do think these early levels are the hardest part for Aurora in this top lane. So if you can get to like level 3, level 4, and you haven't been crushed, I think it's smooth sailing from there.
RCY is not having fun mid, by the way. At least not yet. As Kiyotaka has 5 denies already, which is as many last hits as RCY has at the moment. It's not been fun so far. But Sentry immediately placed down, and Kiyotaka is doing some damage, but he's taking a lot inside the Sandstorm and immediately loses that Sentry.
This is where the early raises are used to get you those quick souls. You usually have a damage advantage after that, and then you pick up a lot of last hits and denies. So it will be rough for RCY. But it's why the Sand King pick is so safe to reveal early. Someone should be stacking for you. In this case, you have a Chen, so hopefully there's a lot of stacks everywhere. And then you just go over and Sandstorm. And you'll be online a lot sooner than a Shadow Fiend, because all you need is a blink. Shadow Fiend can't really make plays the same way.
Gotta survive this early onslaught. Yeah, that is kind of making you sweat over mid. But you talked about these stacks. I like this Panto ward that they placed at the beginning of the game, just to see, you know, if these stacks are being made. Is it something that we're going to need to worry about? Because right now, it's not something they have done yet for Wildcard. They haven't made any stacks. They've been trying to play aggressively on Nightfall. They've been trying to mana burn him, but that hasn't turned into any kills. And I'm kind of wondering at what point are we going to see Speed maybe, you know, move to just go to stack?
I think it would be around now. I'd say props to Mira. I think he's done an excellent job in this lane. to deal with this Chen pressure, and that means soon. I think you realize, like, okay, we tried to burn her mana early. It hasn't really panned out, so I guess now we fall back to stacking.
You'd think so, but I'm still waiting for it, at least to be fair. RCY just still sitting low in this mid lane. This has not been fun for him up to this point. Kiyotaka is gonna potentially get this top water rune, and actually Mira is the one coming over. That forces RCY in a bit of a bad spot to sandstorm off the lane, and then Kiyotaka throws out some right clicks. Oh, the raise almost. That.
Every tango matters, or every Iron Branch matters. He barely lives there. That's why you see mid laners so often just fill out on cheap stats for those kind of moments.
That was really close, and then Mira was coming over if they wanted to go for this. Shards miss onto the Satyr Mind Stealer. And I'm still looking at this triangle, and I'm still seeing no stacks at the moment.
I like the pressure onto that mid lane. Sand King is the playmaker to start. I know we talked about Chronosphere being useful, but in the beginning of the game, you just want to farm. It's really the Sand King who you get him to the Blink Dagger, and then he just blinks stun, and you throw the Mortimer's Kisses on. So the longer you can slow down the Sand King, then what other play is there? You really just have to walk up to towers, which Medusa's actually pretty good at dealing with thanks to the early split shot and the Mystic Snake. Supports with the glimpse make it scary.
This is a problem for speed. They drop down the Tombstone, but there are 3 heroes here. They do have the Snapfire wrapping around from behind. They will get first blood on Panto. Now they got to focus up this Tombstone. They get another 150 gold into the hands of Nightfall. But they've got the Snowball, the Cookie, the Gorgon's Grasp. Do they have the damage to get the kill on a Big Gnome? No, they lose Mira, so it's a 2-for-1. Nightfall did help to get a kill, and did end up getting that Tombstone too. That is a good gold for Nightfall, but a good move from Wildcard to get a couple of supports.
I do think it's necessary. We saw what happens when the Undying offlane struggles in the start. He just never really recovers, so you gotta find some kills for him in the laning stage if he's not free farming, and get him going. Even if he's not crushing the lane because they, counterpick the Medusa, he needs to have some kind of game to contribute.
And now I thought maybe finally they were going to stack here, but it's actually Aurora who are going to be walking over to potentially go and get this shrine. This is what I talked about, having this tag team, and this Satyr's going to see it. But you could see it, but can you stop it? Fade, he's going to be cookied away. They've got the glimpse. They'll have the damage to get the kill here on the Undying. But now he may have just fed over a Tombstone for another 150 gold, and that is there for Kiyotaka.
Epicenter?
They look for the Epicenter. They've got the Sandstorm down. The Burrow Strike lands. Kiyotaka's in trouble. The Body Box come in, but they've got themselves the Snowball. This time the Shrine is going to the way of speed, and they will kill Mira. However, that is a kill and gold again from another Tombstone, and forcing a lot of heroes over.
The Tombstone idea is good as a buy time for the Sand King to get there in Epicenter, which is exactly what happened, but Shadow Fiend has a haste rune. It's the perfect rune to get away from the Epicenter. Otherwise, you get a mid-kill plus the Tusk, and I'd say that's pretty worth it. Uh-oh, Yamson.
He is in trouble.
1 second.
Time walking 2. Oh, gets away from the Snowball, but will get away from the Shards, just sidesteps the Igloo in construction.
I'll say this is the nice thing about Faceless Void, not only for the time walk to get away, but he is going for that Helm of the Dominator build that has become so popular. So a lot of extra armor and regen from the Helm, keeping him alive versus what is mostly physical damage in the early game from the Dawnbreaker. Invis rune now for Kiyotaka. Let's see if we get a sneaky Requiem play somewhere.
Kiyotaka 63 and 15, that puts him top of the net worth, and according to the chart, of course, is way ahead, 1,600 gold ahead of this Sand King. It's a tough life.
I expected Sand King to struggle, but I did not think he would get doubled up on CS. He is catching up now with some stacks, but I would say Kiyotaka did a very good job there. Oh, thank goodness they had a sentry there, because if Kiyotaka requiems RCY after the laning stage he's already had, it would just be absolute devastation to Wildcard.
Devastation invented in the NA region. As they put some pressure onto this tier 1 tower, but Kiyotaka moving down, and here with a duo of supports. They'll pick up a couple of bounty runes too, and they'll actually leave them here for Shadow Fiend to not only sip that bottle, but fill it partially as he takes these camps.
I like that they've made this move, since as part of mid laners who just want to farm up, you either stack the triangle or you stack these 2 camps, like where they just walked through the safe lane jungle. There haven't been any stacks made here, but you're just verifying on the side of Aurora, putting down your ward, and then stealing some of this farm while you're passing through. Just more attention to make sure Sand King gets to a slow blink dagger.
Well, we'll see if and when that comes, but something to note here is Yamsun with that Helm of the Dominator. He is here with it, ready to use the Helm of the Dominator. If you seen this in your pubs, you might be a little upset, but this seems to be the meta, is these helms. Ooh, mid lane, Kiyotaka kisses the epicenter, everything thrown, along with the kitchen sink, and Yamsun even coming through, but there's the shards, forcing the chrono, but he's not able to get through the shards currently, and now you've got that Sword Guardian. The tombstone comes through. It's under the tier 1 tower. Toronto Tokyo trying to get away, but now they've got that kinetic field from Panto. Toronto Tokyo chase, blood grenade thrown over. They need some extra help, but they just don't have it. Toronto Tokyo ends up dead. Mira is going to be next on the list, and that is a good fight, although not the cleanest of fights, but a good one overall for the side of Wildcard.
In the end, the only real downside is that Medusa is getting space to farm right now, but otherwise you got Shadow Fiend, you got Dawnbreaker. Uh-oh, maybe giving up one more kill to the Glimpse, though. Stuck around a little too long.
Pretty tanky. Turn around, Nightfall's here. He's got one, but Hand of God and RCY, Gorgon's Grasp, that's connecting. They don't have much more just yet. Ooh, Kiyotaka, you need to be careful. Need to be very, very careful. Good fight overall, though, for Wildcard.
It's a much stronger start than game number 1. I think they were 5K behind at this point, which is pretty rough. This time, it's a lot closer. RCY getting close to the blink. I'm actually impressed by the amount of epicenters he's managed to find without the blink dagger, but it should be easier in just a few more 100 gold. I think when he finishes up farming this cycle, it should be just about done.
So is this timing all right if you're looking at what RCY's game has looked like?
I mean, considering how if we went back 3 minutes, I thought the blink was going to be even later. So the kills that they've managed to find, especially that mid play, I would say has really helped save the timings. And now the question is, what can you find with that blink dagger? There is still this ticking time bomb of the Medusa, who has been farming very well. Yamsun.
Yeah, that's
Static Storm to finish
Static
the job.
Storm for you. That kill for Kiyotaka is exactly what he needs, especially sticking towards the top of the net worth. He's there with Nightfall, who really hasn't been bothered and has this Manta in a couple of moments.
They want to try to get the Medusa as a response, but she is tanky, and there is a Dawnbreaker ult. Scouted by the Satyr, though. She's actually low on mana.
Got the mana low. Nightfall is dead. RCY with the blink dagger, closing the distance, getting that gap close and the kill. That'll slow down this Medusa, something desperately needed for this Wildcard roster, as they are also going to get the tier 1 tower. Things opening up a bit.
I think you have to keep this momentum going. You did use Epicenter, But you still have Mortimer's Kisses, and the Blink Stun plus Mortimer's Kisses is still enough to get kills on most of these heroes. But the Dawnbreaker does make it a little tough to calculate, especially with the Snowball save in combination.
They want to go mid. We got a couple of heroes waiting off to the side, but RCY walks into this knowing that he's going to have a retaliation available. Easy kill. Easy bait, honestly.
Now a second tower, thanks to all the Chen creeps here. All right, this is much better map control, which should make it easier to continue to find plays as you move around with RCY and Bignum, just looking to combo their ults together.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
How much quicker do you think you need to move for Wildcard? Like, is Medusa... You killed Medusa once, but it feels like you need to kill and shut down Medusa. You can't really meander.
I think there's a funny bell curve to this game, because although I think Medusa hits a faster timing than Faceless Void, as you drag into the really ultra late game, Faceless Void kind of curves back up into Chronosphere is one of the best late game spells in Dota. So I'm actually not sure. I think as long as you're on even footing, you can at least have some copium hope where you're like, yeah, we got Faceless, you know, there's still a shot. So I think this is good, but of course, the sooner you can build a lead, the better, and the more comfort you'll feel, especially because Undying and Chen will drop off a bit more compared to the Faceless Void, and that kind of puts you on a weird scaling where like half your team is good, half your team is bad in the
Right.
late game. On the side of Aurora, though, their supports are insanely good scaling value. I would say the Blink Aghanims on Disruptor is also a pretty game-winning timing to get to.
They are looking to get the blink here for Panto. I guess the question becomes, does he just go straight blink Ags? Is this the game plan? I've seen some disruptors just go straight Ags. Obviously, you want the blink here. You want that ability to kind of be the aggressor as well. But will he kind of get that gold there too? Because it is not great for the supports of Aurora, all things considered, when you compare them, especially to the wildcard supports that have a good amount of gold under their belt.
Yeah, I think it'll still be... You at least get the blink. Whether you rush the full Ags after that, maybe you see how the game is going, but if you get the first item blink, I think you're kind of committed to just keep going down that route. At least that's what you tell your cores, is like, where's your solar crown? Where's the glimmer? Like, well, I got the blink. I gotta get the Ags, you know? It's just how it goes.
Bottom tier 1 being pressured. Undying is here.
You have to be careful about diving and Undying, since he does have the Ceaseless Dirge. He can respawn and TP back into the fight that his team hopefully joins him on. He was spotted by an observer, though.
Drops the tombstone immediately and the TP out. They've got at least one glimpse, and they do try to TP away from all this. Mira might be the one who's caught. Pro Strike connects out of the Disruptor, though. Kitaka's around and maybe wants to help out, deterring RCY from committing out of that kill initially. But they can still look to chase and maybe finish him off if they can find the blink into the Burrow Strike. He's got the blink available, and he blinks to the wrong spot as he goes past the tier 1 tower. So Panto has this opportunity to maybe respond. They finally get the kill on Amira. They go to the glimpse. They've got themselves a kinetic field and the static storm. They go to the hand of God. They have the damage with the raise, and RCY with the blink past the tower puts himself in those vulnerable 4 seconds and gets pulled back to his death.
He took a big risk there. If you blink correctly, you get a very easy kill onto the Disruptor. But of course, if you are incorrect, the glimpse means you are not getting out of there. Especially as he Burrow Strike, trying to get out of vision before the glimpse could happen. But it was like the same time where he uses it, so he gets pulled back because of that. So a little unlucky on that. This means Medusa gonna get more farming time. Since as long as the Sand King is dead, she's not that scared. It has to be a blink Burrow Strike that starts stuff on her. Otherwise, she just ult and leaves.
Yeah, I would say that there isn't much that can make Medusa fear for their lives initially. And you've got this Manta, and if you get that next item, I think you're feeling pretty happy with the game state.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
They're gonna go for Fade, potentially, knowing he doesn't have this ult. That's Tombstone in 9 seconds, but Mira shows off the blink. Tries to get a Shards lockdown on the Fade, doesn't quite catch him, and yeah, you can see now there have been some stacks made. There weren't stacks really made in the first 10 minutes or so, but speed's starting to work on it. And now RCY going to be able to farm them. This will push him closer to that Axe, that next step up for a Sand King. You can see the number there for speed is 9.
Juicy stacks. I mean, this is some of your late game combo, right? Epicenter now even stronger when that Ags is finished. Into the Chronosphere should be a kill on most heroes. At the least, you can take out supports very easily, which sounds kind of funny to say, but I do think these are some very impactful supports to take out quickly in these team fights. Can't be risking the snowball saves or the static storm counter initiations, especially if he does go for the blink Ags. And I think it will be worth it to use some ultimates on them and then handle the cores after that.
How much space is too much space, though? Because Medusa is just kind of free farming this whole time.
I want to say Wildcard has to be aware of it, right? You know that this Medusa is going to be a problem. And I think they tried to push the tempo. They're reaching the point where they realize it's a bit too hard. If we force the issue too much, we're going to overextend into Disruptor. Dawnbreaker is getting close to Aghanims, right? We have to be really careful of that. I think that's why we're seeing a spike in the amount of stacks being made. I think they're now... We were strong early. We're now kind of weak into Medusa's timing as she finishes this butterfly. Let's see if we can steal away the Aegis, and then that'll give us more time to go to late game until our Faceless Void is really scary. Because he's also getting some space. He is a slower farmer naturally than Medusa, so he is behind, but not that far behind. And if you do manage to take away Roche, this is a nice timing that Medusa lineups like to go for. Manta Butterfly, get an Aegis, and it's really tough to deal with Medusa at that point. She'll still have the Manta Butterfly at a really good timing because she has been given a lot of space, but no Aegis to play for.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
No Aegis to play for. Aegis now on RCY. Kind of have this feeling of where these heroes are at as they start to go up near the Tormentor area and wrap all the way around. But right behind them on their tail are these heroes from the side of Wildcard, and there's a blink away from Mira. Burrow Strike going to be short on the mark. Speed, though, here with Yamsun if he can find an opportunity, but this has to be a
missing
pretty
each
good
other.
chrono.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
This is not going to work out for them in terms of getting kills, but hey, Torm's a good second prize.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Good objective taking.
Shard for the Snapfire is a lot of extra damage with the cookie and increases her farming speed a lot. We've actually been seeing some core Snapfires come back. It is slower than it used to be, but I mean, technically, if we're thinking about the hour-long games this stream has been having and the scaling of Snapfire, I mean, she could do with some early farming speed to get to that level 25 core timing.
Things getting really quiet. Quiet more so because Aurora did a good job of avoiding the aggression coming out from Wildcard and maybe a bit of a missed opportunity with that. But now there's that butterfly for Nightfall. He gets that much stronger. And honestly, if you're Aurora, you can kind of wait out this Aegis. You're happy to farm. You're okay with that. You could get the BKB on Kiyotaka and be happy with your farm, right? Nightfall's got the butterfly. He's ready if they need him.
One of the rare times where both teams feel okay farming. I don't know who's right, because only one of them can be right in that regard. But on one side is saying, oh, we've got the Medusa, I'm free farming, we have Dawnbreaker, we're playing the map really efficiently, which even though they're down on towers and they lost Tormentor and Roshan, they have a 1k gold lead, right? Not that they strictly know that, but they have a feel for the game. They realize how farmed they are. So they feel okay waiting things out. On the side of Wildcard, I think they probably feel a little bit more pressure to try to do stuff, and they're smoking right now.
Be it. Bro strike epicenter, tombstone down, trying to get the Medusa, goes into the stone gaze. There's the chronosphere, but they've got the glimpse. Do they have the damage? He's in the sandstorm. They've got the snowball that lands. But do they have the follow-up? Not a lot of mana left, but they go to the arcane boots. They've got the stun. They go to the Requiem. That lands on so many of these wildcard heroes. Pinto finally falls. Nightfall trying to stand his ground, but he doesn't have the mana. They'll end up losing this Medusa. Fade dead, back alive immediately. They find the Dawnbreaker. Toronto Tokyo saved for a moment with a snowball, but the sandstorm still going. Toronto Tokyo out of the low ground with that celestial hammer that just gets him away, but the burrow strike connects and they get a kill onto the Dawn. That was so much to get that Medusa. It ends up being a 3 for 3, but anything to slow down Medusa feels good.
And it's mostly your supports that die on the side of Wildcard, and you keep your Aegis. I'd say that was pretty good overall. Getting that, sometimes the support shards don't matter that much. I think the Snapfire shard adding a little bit of damage here actually let them close up this kill, which great glimpse from Pando there. Static Storm keeping the Faceless Void out of the fight for a while. And then, yeah, it's right here where, you know, just a little bit more cookie damage as a very close fight breaks out. This was like 100 health going away from a team wipe on either side.
They're trying to get Yamsun at the same time with that glimpse, but Yamsun turning this around, snowball the other way. Yamsun's in trouble, and he's got Time Walk, but he does not have a chance to use it. That is a big one to give up.
Nice timing on the stuns from Mira, coming from that high ground, surprising Yamsun on that one. Thinking he had a little bit more freedom to time walk when he wanted to against the Shadow Fiend. Which, through these fights, Shadow Fiend is now at Blink, Kaya, Yasha, and the Aghanim Scepter. This is where the spell combo is now really powerful and can be the way you break up some of these fights. You know, they come in with the Chrono, all these spells, try to just land a Requiem and reset. You also have the Medusa ultimate, so you can combo these together potentially, where you fear them into the petrification, which could be a crazy strong wombo combo.
Shadow Fiend not gonna be short for spells and effectiveness in this, and I'm looking over at Panto. He's going for that Ags, but it's far away. Obviously, it is a position 5 trying to farm an Ags with a pretty greedy core lineup, honestly.
He did get greedy enchantment though, so at least a little bit of passive GPM going his way as he watches his 3 cores farm everything in front of him.
What does he want that he's holding onto the Dormant Curio still?
I think he was probably hoping for a Searing Signet to help him farm, and since he didn't get that, probably had some bad options there, so I guess Gale Guard at tier 3 is the next thing to maybe keep him alive.
Or just hold Dormant Curio?
Dormant Curio, Helm of the Undying. I mean, we're barely past the early game. I got 35 more minutes to go. So
you keep trying to do this. I don't know if it's gonna work. You did this last game. It was a 30-minute game, but we'll see. We're getting 5 minutes on where we were last game. We'll get you one of those 60-minute bangers.
We'll see. I mean, this could be the one. Medusa versus Faceless Void. These are some classic late game carries here.
Kinetic Field, Burrow Strike, and there's the Mortimer's Kisses. One lands down onto the Disruptor to get that kill. Slowing down that very, of course, close Disruptor Ags. Not close at all, by the way.
Super close. Any moment now.
This could be it.
They are trying to find fights here. I mean, they're still relatively strong, right? The spell combo is still really good, especially before BKBs come out on all the different heroes, which, speaking of, Kiyotaka gonna buy his now, and that means he is gonna be a lot less worried about this Burrow Strike Mortimer's Kiss combo. It also means he can consistently get his ultimate off. BKB now done on Dawnbreaker too, or I guess she's had hers for a minute here, but that means finding these kills is now a lot harder for Wildcard.
Medusa, couple hundred gold away. Again, it's another item, and this is just... I don't know. I just think that Medusa... What would you say Medusa's win probability goes up with every item?
I can do math here?
No, this is like fake make it up and
Fake make it
hope
up?
your numbers
3%.
are close. All right, maybe not that low, but you know what? I'll believe it. I'll say 3%. That's fine.
3%'s a lot. Go from 50%
true.
punch?
Glimpse, BKB, and the Walrus Punch. Burrow Strike looking for the epicenter. Kiyotaka, he's got a BKB of his own, and he's finally going to pop it and turn the other way. Nightfall's coming into the fight as well, but they go to the blink. They've got Panto nearby. Damn, son, looking for an opportunity to maybe throw down a Chronosphere, but they look to get the kill on a speed. The Hand of God was used. They get the kill on the chin. Now they've got the Burrow Strike. It lands on Amira. Mortimer's Kiss, Nightfall, being kited a little bit, but now Mira backs off. Mortimer's Kisses once again. They go to the Stone Gaze, but they throw out this Chrono. They've got to heal, but they need to give this guy some mana. They'll turn this around. Nightfall, he's got a little bit of mana left in that pocket. They go to the hit onto Yamsun with that Walrus Punch. They get the kill on the Faceless Void. 2 heroes are gone. Fate falls after him, and down goes Mira finally, who bought so much time in that fight. But the Chrono immediately just does not matter.
I love the patience from Toronto Tokyo on that. It's so tempting when you see a fight break out to want to join in, contribute right away. But he knows if he goes to the Medusa too early, the healing on his ult is completely wasted at that point because she still has mana. So he's constantly waiting for her to run out of mana before using the ultimate, and it's baiting in Wildcard. Like, oh, we're about to get through Medusa's mana shit. We're like, we can do it. Like, see the patience here. There's so many cases where it's like, yeah, I could ult in, or I could maximize my farm before doing it.
Look how long Mira stays alive in this replay, too. Like, he gets chased by Yamsun to snowball and blink back towards the rest of his team. And then these shards, too, kind of make sure you can't get to Nightfall effectively after that Chrono runs out.
Yeah, it is the annoying thing about these like physical terrain spells that kind of give you a way to deal with Chronosphere in a way. If it's not the snowball save, maybe you can do this funny fissure block, or not fissure, ice shard block.
And the ice shards end up putting Yamsun in this like mindset where he has to time walk further in. That's what puts him out of position. And you can see the shards there. Mira helping Kiyotaka to get yet another kill. He's 7-1-5. He's looking for a refresher.
It does feel like Aurora's really hitting their stride. They were very patient, farmed up, but now they've got the items they need. The BKBs, we got Butterfly, Scotty, Crystallis onto Medusa. So if you don't kill her quickly, I mean, she is gonna do the damage. Now she's got so many saves behind her as well. Roche gonna chuck Yamsun off, make his way to the bottom. I think Wildcard was hoping to get it. They're all top, so the fact that he's moving bottom is a big pain for them.
Second Tormentor goes to the other team, and that will be Toronto Tokyo. Panto for a second, you know, can't be giving up that that Ag's gold. Can't be dying to that Torm. But they get that Torm, and now it's objective time for Aurora, right? Like, they all TP back to the base. They're all on this bottom end of the map. Maybe they go for Roche. You do not need Toronto Tokyo nearby. Of course, you can continue to farm top while they wait to go get this Ag, or wait to go get this Roche, and he can Solar Guardian in. This is potentially a wild card. If they win this fight, they could get Roche, but if this one goes by the wayside and Aurora end up getting this one and then getting themselves Roche, this game might just be signed, sealed, and delivered here for Aurora. Mira, can he find anybody? Both teams smoked. And there's that smoke breaking, but immediately the blink away. They go to the glimpse, and RCY. Ooh, well
Great
done.
Burrow strike timing.
Well done. Panto even
tip that
nice
over.
enough to give the tip.
It's like, okay, I recognize that. That's not easy to do. It does give you the space, though, to start Roche. Medusa's in the pit, and this makes it tough. Like, you have to go in the pit. That's just going to open you up to Static Storm and Dawnbreaker ult. And you don't go in the pit. Here's Medusa with the Aegis. How you going to kill her twice?
It's also just such a
Don't forget the banner,
hard
guys.
spot to fight in. Yeah, guys, banner again.
Guys. Dude, it's Mira. He's being the smoke breaker originally for a team while they do Roche. And it's like, okay, they'll get the stuff and then we'll break out. And he has to do the check. He has to go through his course like, guys, you keep forgetting the banner. I gotta keep going back and picking it up.
And meanwhile, the cores are definitely like, yeah, that's just taking up space in my inventory.
What if I missed a CS while picking up that banner?
Yeah,
It just wouldn't be worth it.
Big Nope spotted. Mira is looking for it while the Medusa is taking that mid tier 2, and they will Requiem right on top of this Big Nope Snapfire and get a kill.
Full on his own during
Punch,
this, though.
And speed. As Nightfall's getting chased, yeah, you said it. They just have this Aegis, so they're using all this time to get both supports, but now they got to go over and help out their main guy. As he lost that first life, lost that Aegis, he's trying to take tier 2 by himself. They didn't even need to use Chrono for that, but they do end up using the Epicenter at the end of the day.
This a little bit of a slip up there from Aurora. I think they were hitting a really strong timing, which, I mean, they're still 15k up, still quite strong, but I think they tried to do a little bit too much at the same time there. Push mid while also going for a kill bottom. Wildcard just immediately acts on that, takes away the Aegis, which, as we see, it is possible to kill Medusa once. It's killing her twice into Static Storm and Dawnbreaker ult that's really tricky. So now at least you dealt with the Aegis, and I'd say that's a win because it is now swapped. It is Aurora completely in control for the next, I'd say, 10, 20 minutes. And then it starts getting really scary again against the Chronospheres and the big epicenters, which, like, he has the Ags. He's going to start scaling up into the Shivas. The 25 talents are really strong, as long as he doesn't get killed before then.
Now, would you agree with this mindset where Aegis slows down teams even more at tournaments like TI, where, like, some teams, especially at TI, are unwilling to go for the high ground?
I don't know if that's fully true. I think Aurora was supposed to take that Aegis, take these tier 2s together, and then go high ground. It was supposed to speed things up.
But now without it, they're not gonna... They won't even, like, look to go high ground.
Yeah, but is that Aegis slowing you down, or is that splitting up and dying slowing you down?
Kiyotaka, all right. Well, they'll get speed, but not because of that Requiem.
It's an intimidation Requiem.
Can we have another look at that? I thought my eyes were deceiving me. I thought I was watching some, like... Sometimes I get so scared that I'm, like, watching a replay or something like that. Even though I know I'm in real life here. Ooh, yeah, son, that's a problem. He'll time walk, but he's still gonna get hit by this snowball. And they've got the Static Storm because of the blink from Kanto, who does have this eggs. These are the supports coming in to try and get a kill here on the Yamsun. Turns around, goes to the Chronosphere, but he heals. Oh, the second Sword Guardian. Yamsun just doesn't quite have it. They get the kill on a Big Gnome. Now they're gonna look over for Yamsun, who is on the run. But can they even catch him? He does not have a TP, so he's in the area.
They know he doesn't have a TP too. They're looking. Just gonna hide in the trees. I am a tree.
Work. They know you don't have a TP, guys.
Don't look. They're bringing move. Couriers. They're bringing couriers.
Uh-oh.
He doesn't know.
Don't move.
This is the only place he can be, guys.
Need to move.
This is the only place he can be.
Oh, God, Yamsun, where are you? Oh, no.
Honestly, a heads-up read from Kiyotaka. He's like, this is the only place he could possibly be. I don't know that I'm hitting my raises, but I'm just going to keep doing it.
Immediately moves over to the outpost, and he comes towards top where Nightfall is pushing the tier 2 tower. Yeah, I mean, that was the only spot he could be in, and Kiyotaka, very good at I Spy.
No buyback. Where's the banner? They have 2 catapults here. This is a really good time to push.
Yeah, 35-minute banner with the double catapults, always great, but where is the banner?
Was it used earlier? I guess it was.
Might have been.
Well, I guess you don't really need it anyways. You got Medusa illusions to tank, and you don't really want to fight without your face's void.
Not entirely. Ooh, BKB, but immediately just getting hit by that Walrus Punch. Go for the TP out in your own base. So, you know, the TP of 5 feet.
Well, there's the banner. I guess it was on a courier somewhere. Well, they didn't need it for top, so if you want to keep going mid, the creeps have been cut by Chen's army, so that's good, but backdoor is still down thanks to the top lane, so Nightfall's just face tanking this. It's not even bothered. I think his mana's going up as they hit him.
Uh-oh. That's never a good sign. Up to hit level 25, too, where life gets even more difficult.
Radiant's middle barracks has fallen.
Methodical.
Clean escape.
Yeah. Epicenter, they're gonna try for it. I mean, this is last ditch, right? They'll go BKB, Chronosphere on the edge, Static Storm, that's used, shards. Maybe giving Yamsun life there. But
Still, that was all your big
Speed
ultimates.
is in trouble, and they are also moving on the back lines. Mira looking for Fade. Cookie's not going to get him away from the snowball that's coming through into the Requiem. RCR with the Burrow Strike down lands on it too. They're doing the damage with the Epicenter pulsing in, but now Yamsun comes back in with a time dilation. They look to get the gun of Mira, they get the gun of the Tusk, but Nightfall is still here. Fade is in trouble. The Raze lands. They get the gun of the Undying, who will be back thanks to Ceaseless Dirge. All right, not terrible. 1 for 1. Not the best, but life is, you know, it's still going.
You have to throw out so much to kill a Tusk, though. That is, that is rough for Wildcard. This is the point where the Epicenter and the Mortimer's Kisses, fantastic in the early game, but they really dip here in the mid game, especially Blink Hex, Shadow Fiend, instantly taking out RCY. There's your second life on Undying gone too. I think that might be it, Beacock.
He's got a third one. He's got buyback on
One more.
He can come back. He can come back.
No Chronosphere for a minute though. So how do you defend this? They still have the banner from earlier if they wanna drop it. They're playing this real safe though. It looks like they're gonna get megas first. I think you could probably just push for the end.
I respect the want for megas. Dawn has got some help here from Panto. Yamsun again. Was that with a TP? Does he not have TP? No, he does have TP this time. But, he gets pushed up onto the high ground. Panto, you put him there, and now he's going to time walk down to the low ground. Panto's still alive, and finally gets the kill, but Yamsun's dead to Toronto, Tokyo. And that will be a dead void for 85, but has buyback.
Chen tried to cut the creep wave, but there is the hardest working range creep in the world over here. Breaking back door with the banner. That's megas. You have Chrono. One final defense here. 33k down.
You're gonna need to think about using it soon, but this is a problem. Fade's already dead. He buys back. There's the Chronosphere. Comes through on the feed. They go to the border.
It's pretty good.
All right. Kiyotaka, Mira dead, money in the bank. Now they look over at Nightfall. Stone Gaze the attempt. Toronto Tokyo is here. Scatter Blast hits. Nightfall, not a lot of mana though. Toronto Tokyo in his face with the BKB being caught by RCY. They go to the Static Storm, and now still the Medusa alive for now, and they should be able to get the kill here out of the Medusa, who's dead for 100. RCY though, Kiyotaka in. They finally hit the Solar Guardian. Toronto Tokyo into the face of Yamsun, who has to 4-step away, or get 4-stepped away. RCY though keeping up. Kiyotaka, he is in trouble. He just fought back. They need to get this kill, and they will take him out. He's worth so much gold in the way of Wildcard as they found themselves Panto. There's the glimpse back onto RCY, but Speed's right there, and now they're still looking to get the kill onto the Disruptor, but he is running down the river while the chase is on to Toronto Tokyo. Fade as well as Yamsun looking to get this Dawnbreaker, but just cannot keep up while the creeps are inside your base getting the tier 4s.
No series may end without a 1-hour game. So declares Aurora. They really go all in. I think a little overconfident in how far ahead they were, but turns out when you give the dream combo, Chronosphere, Epicenter, Mortimer's Kisses in front of the enemy fountain, they actually still have the damage to kill you, and it takes a long time to retreat out from the base when you're that far in. So Wildcard, hang on for now. Dream scenario, Roshan spawns like right now. You go get that. It is up right now. The script, it's happening. Wildcard, go get Roche. Just need another 3 team wipes in your base to get back into this.
It can happen. It can happen. Anything is possible.
There's
Kevin
a
Garnett
chance.
said that once.
I mean, you do need okay, seriously though, you do want this refresher on the Roshan, since this is the third Roche at this point. Double Chrono, double Epi, all these are really strong. You've already got refresher on Snapfire, so she actually can bring in 2 ultimates with the Chronospheres. I guess it is Chronosphere because Sand King's also working on his refresher, but they were not confident to go for it. I mean, this is the pressure of being Mega'd, right? They need heroes here to defend, so looks like it will go to Aurora unless they can pull out a second miraculous fight at the Roshan pit, which is a lot harder than in your own base.
Yeah, that one's a bit tougher. Not one that they're gonna go for. Tough ask, if we're being honest.
All right, who do you give this refresher to? Double Ags on Disruptor actually seems pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, he's getting it.
And he got the banner, most importantly. As we saw, and you know, chat might say, the banner's not important. Did you see the one creep taking away backdoor? Just saying. It only takes one.
Only takes one.
It only takes one, guys.
What's the dream comeback here for Wildcard?
Another overcommitting dive from Aurora and the Chrono Kisses combo with Epicenter. And another quick buyback from a core who ends up dying twice.
You are still on dieback timer, actually. Do you wait?
What does Aurora
Does Aurora wait? How scared are they of dieback? They're probably saying, like, guys, if we just don't go that far, like, just sit behind Nightfall and we're good. And that's probably true. But maybe we get wiped once like that. Yeah, but the Aegis on Nightfall, who actually does.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you just stay behind him.
Yeah, yeah. But what if they wrap around and get Kiyotaka, who doesn't have buyback?
And you're talking my language. There goes that tier 4. Somebody's gonna have to react.
Hide in your tombstone.
Gotta be soon. Burrow strike, there go the kisses. They're gonna try and get this, but the static storm's gonna be on to the Snapfire, who has that refresher, who wants to get those more of those kisses out, but Yamsun is just dead. No buyback. Epicenter, can they get more kisses out there? Can they get anything going for him? There's the kisses, but they've got the Solar Guardian. They win the kill on Mira, and they will take the first life away from Nightfall, but they just do not have a Faceless Void. And that is what is making this oh so tough. Burrow strike lands on a Nightfall. Walrus Punch coming through, and that lands on a Fade. There's another Solar Guardian sliding down to RCY with a Requiem right in his face. They kill off Fade. They look for RCY. GG is called. Aurora are going to take the series 2-0. They'll be 1-1, but they knock Wildcard down to 0-2.
Game-winning catch there from Kiyotaka.